When the value of investment crosses 3 million, the discussion shifts from apartments towards townhouses and villas. It's not just because of the fact that you get to own an extra piece of plot when you go for a townhouse or villa. Beyond that, it is because the number of townhouses and villas available in the market versus the number of apartments that are being launched available. Townhouses and villas are more exclusive, limited in nature. Fewer units, stronger demand, as a result, more capital gains in the long term. That is the logic, that is the thinking process behind considering townhouses and villas when it comes to a pure investment. In a nutshell, this whole thought process behind an investment boils down to the concept of exclusivity. The harder it gets for someone else, for some other developer to replicate your concept, the better it is, right? So that is all about exclusivity, which you find more in townhouses and villas compared to apartments. But what if there is an apartment community in Dubai that is far more exclusive than any of the villas or townhouses out there in Dubai? What if it is surrounded by powerful economic anchors that would drive the future appreciation? From the Al Maktoum Airport to an Amar mall to Fortune 500 companies and many more. What if townhouses and villas are launched at scale? This apartment product remains the only one of its kind in this entire emerging district. And that is exactly the opportunity we are talking about today. Al Waha 2 at Expo City. Without further ado, let's get into the video and understand the details. So this product has to be understood in multiple angles. First of all, let's understand the master community, the placement of this particular cluster, what it is, and let's understand the demand anchors and so on. Before going in, I must say that I've already done a detailed analysis video for Expo City Al Waha Residences 1 because this is their second launch. If you would like to understand more in detail, I also have walked through the community and showed you how the community would feel like, so you can check that video out. So let's first of all understand the master plan and the placement of this project. Alright, so this is the master plan for Expo City. As I said, I have done a deep dive analysis for this particular master plan. So let me just briefly go through this again for the purpose of this video. As you could understand, they have already marked the different amenities, different clusters, different features of the community. So this is the Dubai Exhibition Center. The World Trade Center operations are going to move in here. First phase of it will happen by the end of next year, 2026, which would be one of the biggest demand anchors for this community. We'll talk about it in detail when we talk about the various other demand anchors that are there. Currently, the existing size of the exhibition center is about 47,000 square meters, and the expansion work is aggressively happening. Every other week when I go to Expo City, I can feel that something has changed. I mean, it's the development works, the expansion work of the exhibition center is happening at a very rapid pace. After all, it's by the government themselves, so they have taken it very seriously. So as part of the first phase, which will be launched next year end, the size is going to expand up to 145,000 square meters from 47,000 square meters, right? That is one of the main things. You have the Amar mall here. It's already, the infrastructure is ready. The mall is not yet functional. So by next year, that is also expected to be functional. This is by Amar themselves. And if you have been to Dubai Mall, if you have been to Dubai Hills Mall, if you have been to Marina Mall, any of the Amar malls, you would understand how different, how unique that experience is. They are well known to build Amar as a developer is well known to build infrastructure, malls, communities. So a mall by them, that's definitely going to be a game changer, not only for this, for the entire vicinity. And you have projects by Amar here, Terra Heights, they have multiple projects coming up. We have the Expo Forest. These are just some of the main things, which is like 250 million square meters big of a forest, right? You have an amphitheater, you have a hospital coming up here. If you zoom in, you have a school here, right? You have an outdoor theater kind of setup here. You have the Alif Mobility Pavilion here, and you have the Al Wasl Plaza, the Al Wasl Dome at the center of it, right? Which is a Guinness World Record for the world's largest immersive dome, right? And there are many other amenities, right? Al Waha 1, the previous launch is here. This is Al Waha 1. It was 21 buildings, again ground G+1, G+2, very exclusive. and the same concept is being replicated on the other side of this Waha 2. This is where Waha 2 is, right? We'll understand the project in detail. Just to understand what other developments are there inside, we have Sky Residences here, we have Mangrove Residences here, we have Sidhu Residences here. These are also good projects. When it comes to an apartment investment, these are also good project, but the project we are talking about today is totally different. I mean, it can't be compared along with an apartment. It's a totally different, unique concept, right? So this is all what's available inside Expo City, and let's dig deep. Let's understand Expo City, the potential of it, and how exclusive, how limited of a supply all these projects put together still is, right, versus the demand that is going to be there in this community. So let's first of all understand how the community is going to feel like, right? These are a set of like exclusive buildings, right, with closed with smart gates. So it's basically a gated set of exclusive cluster within Expo City in close proximity. I mean, if you look at here, this is the Al Wasl Dome. Is one of the main attractions, right? This side you have the exhibition center, and you have the metro as well out of this. This is again another, just understand, this is the entrance for the community, and this is the walkway, which is around 20 meters wide. It's a very wide walkway, and this is how it's going to feel like the community is entirely walkable, right? Entirely walkable. So it's a sustainable green community. So there's no vehicles. So there's going to be smart buggies, bicycles, e-scooters. These are the mode of travel available inside the community, plus you can walk, right? And this you have smart curtains on top of the walkways, and it will be closed during rains or during summer season. If it is too hot, then it will automatically detect it and it will close, right? And generally speaking, Expo City itself is like around 5% in terms of temperature. Expo City is 5% cooler than the entire Dubai, and you literally feel it when you go there, right? Even now, as I'm recording the video, it's hot outside, right? It's a bit hot outside because the summer is almost started. But when you go to Expo City, you literally feel the difference. These are a few more renders. Of course, there's a very limited number of renders available at this point in time because it's still at pre-launch, right? So this is how it looks like. These are the buildings, all ground floor plus 1, G plus 2, and there will be one building with G plus 3. So basically maximum 4 floors. The rest of the buildings are either 3 floors or 2 floors, right? Including the ground floor. And the floor to ceiling height goes up to 6 meters, which you would not get even in a townhouse, unless of course it's a villa, very exclusive villa or a mansion. 6 meters of a height, it's not something that's that common, right? And obviously not in every apartment, but it starts from about 4 meters, which is still very high, right? It goes up to 6 meters, right? That's very unique. Most of these apartments have 270-degree views of the community. It's well lit, right, from floor to ceiling height, windows, and that basically that cluster is already there. It's already existing. It's an already existing cluster in Expo City because these buildings were built for the purpose of Expo 2020, which were used by various countries as pavilions. Right now, these buildings are being transformed into a set of exclusive residential buildings, right? And this is another shot from the top. And you could understand these terraces. These are private terraces belonging to the ground floor unit and the 2-bedroom lofts that start from the ground floor and go up to 1 beds, right? These terraces are private, and this is the most important thing. This is entirely free. It's not part of the price, right? And you don't pay service charge to this terrace. It's entirely free, but it's entirely yours, right? That's very important to know. Okay, so these are some of the renders. Now let's understand the placement of units. This is how the buildings are going to look like. Okay, so this side you have the Al Wasl Plaza, and this side you have the Dubai Exhibition Center and the metro station. So it's very close proximity to the exhibition center. Would be a walk of like 1 or 2 minutes. It's very close proximity, right? On this side you have the UAE Pavilion of Sustainability, right? That was built for the purpose of Expo 2020. It's a magnificent, beautiful structure, and the government is transforming it. So if you look at, we have ground floor, first floor, second floor, and one building that has a third floor as well, right? These orange color ones are all 1 beds, these dark orange ones are 2 beds, and these pink color units are all 2-bed lofts starting from ground floor going up to the first floor, right? There are smart gates between this. There's a smart gate here which is not marked, which is not mentioned in this, but there are smart gates between these buildings. So no one from outside can enter into this cluster, right? It's exclusive, it is gated, and it is very private, right? Within a very busy district. That's the most in very close proximity to all the attractions, the Fortune 500 companies that have already moved in and that are moving in to the Dubai Exhibition Center. It's all walking distance, very close proximity, yet exclusive and private to you, right? That is the most important thing in this particular project. When I was talking about Al Waha one, an investor asked me actually, why does not the developer transform this plot into a set of something like Siddhi residences, Sky residences, a residential apartment, let's say 15-20 floors, thereby they could make more money, right? So here the objective of the developer is not to make money. We need to understand that. That is exactly one of the main reasons why this project would outperform, this project would shine, this community as a whole would perform well, because the objective of the developer is not to make money. The objective of the developer, Expo City, is to create a statement. This development is directly backed by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He personally visited Expo City and endorsed, approved the new master plan, and already they are investing big time into this. If you look at, I have explained in detail in my previous videos about this, but just to put it in a nutshell, 10 billion dirhams of an investment has been passed to expand the existing Dubai Exhibition Center. This is just the first phase of it. 37 billion dirhams has already been invested in Expo City, and another 10 billion dirhams again to expand the Expo City itself, right? For construction, for developments, expansions, renovations and all. Altogether, 57 billion dirhams of an investment has already been sunk into this community, right? Next to this, the neighboring community, we have Al Maktoum International Airport, which is 120 plus billion dirhams of an investment again. This is also government infrastructure. An investment by government of almost 200 billion dirhams, which has not happened anywhere else in Dubai in such a small concentration. Always in Dubai, whoever who followed the government, be it a developer, be it an investor, whoever who saw through the vision of the government, whoever who followed the government, had always won, right? And that is exactly why you should think about this project. Why is the government going and investing, building so much in this community, and what is important about this project, right? A simple example, right? These top tier developers, they always follow the government. Something interesting that I was having a discussion with one of the investors who invested in a townhouse in Damac Hills too, right? I mean, it's not a comparison for this project. I'm just giving you a story. If you have been following the market for some time, Damac Hills 2 is by most investors, by most people considered a bit of a faraway location. And Damac created this community back in 2019 while it was just the desert, absolutely nothing else there, right? And everyone was like, why is it so far? Why is that happen, right? But now looking back, we understand, yes, Amar has gone there, Shobha has gone there, the city is expanding, and Damac captured that moment way before anyone else saw it. That is because Damac had insights, Damac knew where the government is going, Damac had information about the government that we as public do not have access to, right? And today, whatever that was launched at like less than 1 million dirhams, today is at 2 million plus, right? And that location, not only Damac, the Amar Valley, so that entire location is picking up, right? This is just a simple example of how these leading top tier developers, they follow the government. We need to follow the government. We need to understand the top tier developers when they go to a new location. Why are they going there? What's there? Okay. It has always been a win case when investors, when developers follow the trends of the government. So that is exactly why Expo City is something that you definitely need to pay attention to, right? Now let's move on to the next section and let's understand the demand anchors of this community, of this surrounding. What is driving demand in this project and why it's exclusive, right? Before understanding the demand anchors, just to add something about the people that would potentially live in this cluster, Al Waha 1, Al Waha 2. Most likely the 1 bedrooms would go on short-term Airbnb rentals. When it comes to 2 beds and 3 beds, it's a very unique concept. As I said, you just think of a 2-bed loft. It's more like a townhouse because it's very low density, just 10 units per apartment, very low density, and just 21 apartments around in the community, right? It's very low density, very exclusive. Whoever who would not want to live in an apartment, right? Because apartment, the number of units is high, right? Whoever who does not want to live in an apartment, and whoever who does not have the capacity to go for a townhouse or villa, mainly maybe because of the financial capacity, or because no townhouses or villas are there in such proximity. For example, if you look at, let's go to the map and let's understand this, right? In Expo City, if you look at, this part is predominantly going to be the business district, right? We have many offices already. Siemens, they have 6 buildings. Siemens Energy and Siemens, they have 6 buildings together. We have Emirates, they are moving their headquarters to this location because Al Maktoum Airport is coming up, right? So obviously Emirates has to move from there to here. We have IIFT, we have Fuji, we have Bank, we have Live Nation, we have so many big names, and we have the global headquarters of DP Worlds in this location, this part, right? Behind Al Waha too, right? We have a hospital, we have a school. Of course, the school is on the other side, but it's inside the community. People living here, people working here, right, would prefer to live inside the community because it's very walking distance. The community itself is prestigious. When you say I live in Expo City, 5-6 years down the line, that's going to be a big thing, right? That is where this community is heading. So people working in these locations who would not want to live here because this is the closest available townhouse villa option when it comes to this community. So from here to here, it's not walking distance. It could be, you could say, cycling distance, or you'll have to it's not walking distance, not that close. So who would consider this a little far away, and who would in terms of budget, this could be a little expensive, right? But they don't want to live in apartments either, right? These are the apartment complexes available, so they don't want to live in high-rise apartments either. So those people would obviously definitely prefer something like this because it's very unique, unprecedented. It's not something of this scale, something like this concept is not there anywhere else in Dubai. So it's very unique, right? So they would prefer living here. Okay, and also you have your own short-term rental demand as well because of the Dubai Exhibition Center, Al Wasl Dome, many events happening in Expo City. You have your own short-term rentals as well. So just to give an idea of the kind of demand that this set of buildings would attract, right? Okay, now if you understand the demand anchors of this community, we already covered a lot of that. Number one is going to be this exhibition center. It's going to be a main demand anchor. 2.5 million is how many visitors visited the World Trade Center last year. That entire demand is going to be shifted to this location. Just imagine, right, how much of a demand it's going to carry. That's number one, and that's one of the main demand anchors. Right? Just see how close this, even this Al Waha 1, Al Waha 2, how close these two are to the exhibition center. So definitely that's one. You have the Amar Mall, Expo Mall by Amar, right? Wherever there is a mall, there is demand. A developer like Amar is coming up with a mall because of the demand. So it's a community. Right? Wherever there is a mall, there is a community, and wherever there is an Amar Mall, it's exceptional. So Amar Mall, number 2. You have the existing metro station. A community with an existing metro station always has been a win, right? Just think about Al Furjan, how it picked up over the past 3, 4, 5 years. Significant gains for investors who invested 4, 5 years back. Once it started picking up, once the government started taking that area seriously, it quickly picked up, right? That's just one example. You have a hospital. On this hand, you have a school, again by a leading brand. Obviously, they have to match to the caliber of officers and people living here. So these have to be leading brands. You have the Expo Forest, 250 million square foot of forest space, right? With horseback riding, gazelles, animals, a pond, and many others. That's going to be a unique thing. You have an art plaza just like Dubai Opera. You have many other amenities like the surreal water feature, the garden in the sky, and many other amenities, many other attractions in Expo City, right? And you have 100 plus restaurants. Currently there are 30 plus. So it's going to be 100 plus within the next 2 years, right? The restaurants are just supporting factors for the demand, okay? The most important thing on this side, which is not marked in this master plan, you have the Al Maktoum International Airport, the world's largest airport to come. Right? And as I said earlier, you have a lot of the Fortune 500 companies set up headquarters and regional offices here. including DP World's global headquarters. Siemens Energy. For example, Siemens, they have 3 buildings. These 3 buildings belong to Siemens. There's another building here by Siemens, another 2 buildings. Altogether, 6 buildings that belong to Siemens, right? We have the DP World's global headquarters somewhere around this location. We have IIFT University from India. We have a set of buildings here by Aldar, collaboration between Aldar and Expo City, commercial buildings, right? That's going to be a huge demand puller for commercial and office spaces, because there is a lack of grade A office spaces in Dubai, and Expo City is going to be home for 135,000 plus square meters of grade A office spaces, and Expo City itself is a free zone, right? So the fact that a lot of Fortune 500 companies, various other companies, grade A office spaces, that's going to be a huge demand puller. That's going to be there for a long time, because these offices, once they move in, for example, DP World's global headquarters, I'm sure they would have done a lot of thorough, deep research before they moved in. So that's going to be a very resilient, long-term demand driver, this corporate offices, headquarters and all, right? One other factor, the Etihad Railway, there's going to be a stop of Etihad Railway close to the Al Maktoum Airport, and the metro network is directly connected to the Etihad Railway, right? There's a metro station in Expo City, so that's another main factor. These are just some of the factors that, some of the strong anchors, so to say, that would drive demand in this community, right? And name one other community that has so many strong anchors, so many strong factors that drive demand. If you look at another, like for example, if you look at Dubai Hills Estate, you have the hospital, you have school, gem school, you have the Amar Mall, you have a golf course, right? There are a few factors. You have a community, you have a central park. There are a few factors, but the number of factors that are available in this community, it's significantly higher than anything else, right? In such a small concentration. It's not a big community, it's a small community compared to other big communities, right? So that's something that is very unique to this community. The government itself, as I was saying already, government itself has taken this seriously. So this is the kind of community project that we are talking about today, right? And if you look at it from a different angle, now just go back to this master community, let's understand. If you zoom in, you have 277 apartments in Al Waha 2, 280 or 284 if I'm not mistaken, apartments in Al Waha 1, 450 in Sidhu Residences 1, 2, 3, again another 415 Mangrove, another 415 Sky. This is all that's available inside this community, inside this master community. This is all you have inside, and this is the kind of demand that is expected in this community, all the strong demand pullers that we spoke about, the exhibition center and everything, both short-term and long-term rental, right? Versus, let's just understand, I mean, we are talking about like when you have the opportunity of investing in a townhouse or maybe a semi-detached villa in somewhere around like Amar Valley 2, why should you consider this, right? So just to understand that, just look at this master plan. Let's try to internalize this. You have a set of a few residential buildings like Al Waha 1, 2, Sidhu Sky, and then you have school, you have the mall, you have Fortune 500 companies, you have a forest, you have a lot of attractions, you have the Al Wasl Dome, you have amphitheater, you have the fruits and vegetable market. I didn't mention everything, I just mentioned a few things here, right? So you have many more to this, right? You have the UAE Sustainability House of Sustainability, you have the various pavilions, activities and everything. Versus, just to compare it with another townhouse community, let's understand. If you look at, I'll just take 2 townhouse communities that are close by. One is Riverside by Damac, another one is Amar South. So this is the master plan for Riverside. If you look at, these are the townhouses in Riverside. First of all, the number of units that are available, right? Like townhouses plus apartments put together, it's going to be significantly higher than what you could get in Expo City, right? Their exclusivity, it's more exclusive. Expo City is more exclusive, number one. Number two, the number of the variety of the amenities, like for example the school, the mall, the features, attractions and everything, versus the variety of amenities available in any of these communities. Like you have the townhouses, so residential, you have residential townhouses and apartments, and then you have the amenities, the water features, maybe a clubhouse, right? Sports courts. The variety is very high in such a small concentration when it comes to Expo City versus any other townhouse community. So in two angles. Exclusivity is high because of the number of units are less, right? Variety is also high. Obviously, the demand is going to be high, you understand, right? Another example, if you look at Amar South, yes, Amar South, because Amar is well known to build communities, right? They build communities. Amar South, they have the golf course. They don't have commercial. Yes, they have a school. They don't have a mall because there's Amar Mall here. They don't have a mall. They would have some retail space. They would have a clubhouse. Of course, you have the golf course. So it's a golf community predominantly, right? It's a more exclusive niche. It's a golf community. It's not an open mixed use community, right? So in that sense, it's again an exclusive. I mean, I'm not comparing or I'm not putting anything down. I'm not putting Riverside down. I'm not putting Amar down. They have their own uniquenesses. They are good developers, right? There's a reason why they invest billions of dollars into a community and come up with projects. So I'm no one to put them down, right? But I'm just comparing for us to really understand when it comes to an investor. You are investing in 1 or 2 units, right? It's your hard-earned money. You need to understand where you are going to maximize your returns, right? Is it going to be a townhouse or an apartment in anywhere else, or an apartment here? It doesn't matter if you are looking at a pure investment. It doesn't matter what type of unit, as long as you are getting the returns. Of course, you would have certain other objectives, maybe a mixed objective like for you to live in or the prestige or anything. So considering all those, you have to understand where is going to make more sense for me. Should I invest in a community that has a lot of that has another 1,500 similar townhouses plus apartments, again another 10,000-15,000 apartment units? Is that where I should be investing? Of course, with their own uniqueness, or in a community where government itself has taken so seriously, so much so that they have already invested 57 billion dirhams and yet to come. Region's largest exhibition center, next to world's largest airport, and so many amenities, facilities that we discussed and that we did not discuss as well, right? Where should you put your money? Exclusivity. What is more exclusive? What is more limited supply in nature? Where should you put your money, right? Not to mention the payment plan. It's 50-50 payment plan. That's just one additional thing apart from all these things, right? 50-50 payment plan where you have to pay 50% at handover, which is a very lucrative payment plan. Whether you are a resident or a non-resident, if you want to, you can go for a mortgage, or you can pay at that time, right? Plus the fact that it is being handed over early as well. 2027, early 2027, this project is going to be handed over. These are just some additional factors, but the main thing is the exclusivity, the limited supply that would drive the demand appreciation compared to any of the other investments in this scale, in this price range, right? So yes, that's a bit about the analysis of Expo City Al Waha 2. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my analysis. If there's anything, I would really love to hear your thoughts. If you could comment on the comment sections below. If you could let me know if there's any questions. If you feel I should address anything else in my future videos, just share with me, because you are my audience. You would give me your genuine opinion, right? If you had the patience to watch my videos for like 25-30 minutes, then I'm sure you are very serious, right? You didn't just watch it. You are very serious. So if there's anything in your mind, please feel free to let me know. That would be a huge learning curve for me to grow, to incorporate in my future videos. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and do get in touch with me if you like to discuss about this opportunity or any other investment opportunity, any comparisons, to think louder together. I'd be more than happy to have a chat with you, talk to you and discuss. So yep, that's about it for today. Signing off until next time.